Hello there. On the bench here I have my HALLICRAFTERS S-107. This is not the Mark 1 or 2 or whatever. It's just a straight S-107. You probably have seen this radio several months back, maybe last spring for all I know. This is the one with the frayed dial cord that I glued to prevent it from breaking. We're not dealing with that. We are going to start recapping and getting all these tiny cheap capacitors out of here. Now, I still have the Philips radio up here that I have to deal with, but I'm waiting on a 3-section terminal strip, which I ordered from eBay. It's supposed to be in by the end of the month, so I can do something with these wires here. This radio's really taken up a lot of space in my shop. It's blocking my resistor cabinet up there and part of my capacitor cabinet over here. So I really need to get this on the bench and get it finished and get it into the house. Where I'm going to put it, I have no idea. So what I'm going to do now is set you on a tripod here, and I'm going to take this out of the case, and I'm going to proceed to replace the capacitors. I'm going to be doing that off camera, but I'll just show you what I've got under there. It's been a while since I worked on this, so let's get started. I guess you could say this is part 1 of this video, but I may have to go on to the Philips when that terminal strip comes in, because I need that to put into the to connect those speaker wires, which are solid wire, and I really need to get that taken care of. So let's see here. We get a Phillips screwdriver. I don't like taking too many things apart because screws get mixed up. This is not the right screws for these, but I didn't have anything to hold it, so I had to use a sheet metal screw. I like using Phillips. If a radio or a piece of test equipment comes with slotted screws, I replace them with Phillips. It's so much better. You don't have scratch panels or anything else. Okay, now we've got a little container here. We can put these screws in, and we'll stick them over here, and I won't remember where they are. Let's see. I don't remember now. Did this come out the back, or did this come out the front, or what? Okay, there's 2 slotted screws underneath of the radio, and I gotta cut the wires here for the speaker. I have them temporarily taped together, and wire nut on one of them. What inspired me to get back on this was watching Buddy's, the Radio Shop's video of the S-108 that he had. Very hard to hold the chassis from sliding. So there's a lot of strain on these screws, and there's not much I can do about it. Not really much you can do. To try to keep it from sliding down or dropping down. I had this out before, You probably have seen the video on it. Alright, let's put these screws in here. My magnetic tray has got screws for the Phillips. Alright, now I think it comes out the front, but before we do that, it's got a nice cord on it, but it's not polarized, but it doesn't have to be. It's got a power transformer. Now, I had cut these wires because there's no way I could get up in there and solder the speaker wires to the speaker, and I didn't want to keep doing that all the time, so I just put a wire nut on one of them and extended the speaker wires about 4 inches. And that's what I usually do with these things when the speaker's soldered in. I did the same thing on the Aero ear when I took the front panel off. Alright. Okay, let's get the... Oh, I just broke another rubber band. I use rubber bands or cable ties to hold the wire together. I never can tie these wires up with the wire itself. That never worked for me. Alright, we're getting it. We're getting it, Charlie. She's a-coming. I did some work on this. I don't know if you can see that, but the chassis was a little bit rusty. What's holding this? And I used aluminum paint on it. I had done it quite thoroughly with a foam brush and a artist brush to get up underneath. I don't remove tuning condensers and stuff. So she's looks pretty good. The speaker wires were a little too short. They were strained just to reach the speaker, and it was very hard for me to get in there to solder to the speaker. So I extended, like I do to all my things, the wires to the speaker, and I took the speaker out of the cabinet the last time I worked on it, and I added probably about 5 or 6 inches actually of wire on it, and I'm going to replace it. I got to find another wire nut. I've got them, I just got to go digging through to find them. It's got a nice non-polarized cord on it. It looks like brand new, really nice, and it's got a power transformer, so you do not need a 3-prong grounded plug. Now you can see I did aluminum paint on this whole thing here. This switch here, everything was rusted about 3/4 of an inch right across here and on the inside. I sanded it down really good, and I covered it with aluminum paint, and I think it came out pretty good. So what we're going to do here is show you the dial cord, which is not broken, and I'm not going to break it. Here, it was all frayed. I showed you this in an earlier video, but it was quite a while ago. And this is the area where it's all frayed through here. It's good up into here, and it's good here. So it's just this area where it goes around the shaft. So let's see here. Alright, tuning condenser still closing. It's all working good. And like I say, it was frayed. So what I did is I coated this cord in this bad area here. I did it where I wouldn't glue it to the wheel here. I glued like part of this, let it dry, and then took a surgical scissors I have that I bought at Jewett City Flea Market a couple years ago. They're really, really precise, very, very sharp, small scissors, and I trimmed all the hairs off of it. Then I went, you got a little bit of hairs on it, but not too bad. And it used to stop, but now it seems to go through. It's not perfect. It's not perfect, but it is working, but it's going to break. And I'm really, really uptight about that. You can see where I got a little pain on the wire down here. All right, so the purpose of this video here is to flip her over and show you what I got to do underside, and that's what I plan on doing today. Okay, these tiny chief capacitors, they have to be replaced, and unlike a lot of guys, they'll go down to the tube socket and clean it off and resolder. I will not do that. I will break pins off the tube socket. I've done it before. Hook and pinch is what I do. If I can get at a terminal and clean it off, like this switch right here, which is nothing more than a tone control, yes, I'll solder to that. I don't know if you can see that down there, but that's what I gotta do. Get this out of the way here. Yeah, all these tiny chiefs have got to go. There's going to be one down there that's going to be very difficult for me to get at. None of these will be done on the on camera. There's one here that's been changed, and I think that's the audio output tube. So I think the best thing to do is to start from here and go down. Starting with, this is a 0.05 right here. So we're going to stop the video at this point. I'm going to do some work on it. It is 6:15 in the evening right now, so I'll be doing a little work, and then I will probably work on it again tomorrow. Well, I had to tack them on both ends. I could not get it in there. It took me 10 or 15 minutes to do this one. This is the first capacitor. That was hook and pinch, but I had to tack it. I just could not see what I was doing. So that's the way I'm going to do all the caps in here. About a half hour later, I got these two in here. I was managed to hook and pinch without tack soldering these, so that's good. These both go to the chassis, so I just cut the lead short off of the old capacitor here, and you know, put a hook on one side and shorten the lead and put a hook on a new capacitor. And that's the way I do my work. I can't do it any other way. Been doing it all these years. It's sure getting harder and harder to see this stuff. Alright, I gotta try to get this one. That's not going to be easy. I think I can get it. I think I can get in there. We'll do that off camera. That is a 0.05, so that'll be an 0.47 when I do that. bring the solder over onto the iron. I don't like doing that, but I can't hold everything. Not what I like to do. She took good. Nice shiny blob of solder. Nice shiny blob of solder. I got to cut that little tail off right there, and I'll be all set. Well, the tail was too short for me to hold it with the needle nose and cut it with the dike, so it's in the chassis somewhere, and hope it falls out, because it's not down here. Alright, so we've got 4 caps replaced already, and you don't want to overheat these plastic IF can. The base is plastic and you'll melt it, so you'll always leave a long lead on the component that's the old component you're replacing, and hook and pinch. Leave as long a lead as you can possibly get away with, so that you're not putting a lot of heat on this. Like if I had to replace this resistor, I'd cut it way back to the body, hook and pinch a new resistor in there. That's the way I do it. And you can see how I did it over here. They're nice and solid, they're not going anywhere, they're not shorted out. Alright, upon examination it looks like the next one is here. So we'll do a few more and come back. We're not going to keep coming back on the video for one at a time. Okay, this is going to be a short one. It's almost time to go in and eat. I spent a little over an hour on this thing already, and I did not get that cap yet because I'm going to have to remove this jack in order to get in there, and that's with hook and pinch with the full lead length on the old component. There'd be no physical way I could do it any other way. So this one here, I don't know if I'm going to be able to get at it, but we'll worry about that on part 2 of this, whenever that is. You don't need to watch the video. It's going to take me hours to do all these here. These are in a better area. Well, not this one, but most of these up here are in an easier area to get at. So we'll come back on this video. This will be the end of part number 1 of the HALLICRAFTERS S-107. Thank you for watching. Stay tuned.